Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this really powerful spiritual framework from the East. It's a three-part path, and it's designed to transform not just, our inner world, but how we actually show up in our outer world too.
So, let's just jump right in. What does a complete spiritual life really look like? I think we often imagine it's about one single thing, right? Like maybe it's meditation, or prayer, or charity. But the source text we're digging into today says, nope, it's not just one action. It's actually a journey in three really distinct, powerful stages that all build on each other.
And this right here, this is the core path. First, you connect to a source of inspiration, a higher power. Then, you do the inner work, to refine yourself so you can actually handle that power. And finally, you offer all of those gifts back to the world. It's this complete interconnected system where every single part supports the others.
All right, so let's start with stage one, Upasana, which is all about the art of connection. This is the foundation, right? Everything else is going to be built on this.
So the first step, it isn't about some complicated ritual or asking for things from the divine. The word itself, Upasana, literally means to sit near. It tells you the whole goal, proximity. It's about consciously choosing to sit near greatness, whether that's a teacher, a high ideal, or a divine power, and just aligning yourself with it. Now, the source text makes a really crucial distinction here. It's basically warning us against a superficial connection. Just going through the motions. True Upasana is all about building a profound relationship. It's about surrender with the goal of absorbing the very qualities you admire. The text uses this beautiful metaphor to explain the goal. Think about it. A drop falling into the sea doesn't just get wet. It literally becomes the ocean. And that's Upasana. It's the process of letting go of your small, separate self to become part of something infinitely larger. And here's another great analogy the text uses for the practical side of things. A simple wire. It does nothing on its own, but you connect it to a generator, and suddenly it crackles with energy. In the same way, by connecting through Upasana, we can access a strength and a clarity that we just couldn't generate on our own. So once that connection is established, the journey turns inward. Tapping into a higher power is one thing, but being able to handle it, that's a whole other story. And that brings us to the second stage, Sadhana. If Upasana is connecting to the generator, you can think of Sadhana as upgrading your own wiring. It's the conscious inner work of preparing ourselves to be a worthy vessel for all that energy we've connected to. It's about making ourselves strong enough to actually handle the power. The text uses these simple, really practical examples. It makes sense, right? Before you can color a cloth with beautiful, divine qualities, you've got to wash it clean of all its impurities. Before a vessel can be filled with grace, you have to patch up the leaks. This is the essential work of sadhana. And this makes it crystal clear that sadhana is not a passive process. Not at all. It requires active, sometimes even forceful effort. The text compares it to a ringmaster taming a lion. The seeker has to use discipline to tame the wild, scattered nature of their own mind.
So what exactly are we taming here? Well, the source points to these three big obstacles, calling them leaks or even handcuffs. You've got vasana, which are our deep-rooted desires. Then there's trishna, those insatiable cravings for more and more. And finally, ahanta, the persistent ego that keeps us feeling separate. Sadhana is the dedicated work of plugging these leaks so our spiritual energy isn't constantly draining away.
Okay, so after connecting to power and refining the self, the path turns outward in its final and honestly beautiful stage. The energy that was drawn in and purified, well, it has to be given out. This is Aradhana.
Now, this is a really crucial point in the text. The ultimate expression of a spiritual life is not hidden away somewhere. It's demonstrated through action in the world. True worship isn't just for a deity in a temple. It's service to the divinity that the source sees in all of society, in all of creation.
The text frames Aradhana as the ultimate investment. It actually calls the world God's farm and encourages us to sow our time, our skills, our compassion into it. And the promised return on that investment? Well, it's immeasurable.
This simple story from the text just perfectly captures the whole idea of Aradhana. So you have two gardeners. One just offered praise to the king's portrait every day, while the actual garden withered and died. The other one, he forgot to praise the king, but worked tirelessly to tend his garden. So which one performed true service? Of course, the king rewarded the one who took care of his creation. And that is the profound shift in perspective. Aradhana reframes service. It's not some chore we do for other people. It's the highest form of worship. Tending to the world, to society, that is tending to the divine's own garden.
So, how do these three stages fit together? It's really important to see this not as some linear path that you finish, but as a complete, dynamic cycle that you live.
Here's how the whole flow works. Think of it like this. Upasana fills your cup with divine energy. Then, sadhana cleans and strengthens that cup so it doesn't leak. And finally, Aradhana pours the contents of that cup out for the world. And that very act of giving, it creates the space to receive more, and the whole cycle begins all over again.
So, as we wrap this up, the real question isn't just about what these terms mean. It's about where you might see yourself on this path right now. Is this a season for a connection, for inner refinement, or is it a time for outward service? According to this framework, a complete and fulfilling spiritual life finds a way to embrace all three.